Hello! So today I will be teaching you how to make a very basic lottery contract in Solidity. First of all, let's open your browser. And in your browser, open the website remix.ethereum.org. Remix is a development environment for Solidity contracts that contains all the tools you need to write, compile, and deploy a Solidity contract. Right-click the name of the contracts folder and select New File to create a new contract. Give it the name lottery.sol, which stands for Solidity. The declaration of the contract looks no different to the declaration of a class in PHP or JavaScript. Solidity is the language that we will use to write the Ethereum contract. Let me try to explain very quickly what I want this contract to do. First of all, a smart contract is just basically a piece of code, sort of like a class that runs the code that we write for it. Just like in a normal lottery, we want to have a list of people that can play and participate and perhaps win the money that we have in the lottery. These people need to be able to send money to the Ethereum contract. We will also have a special account that we will call the manager or the owner of the contract, and only this person will be allowed to decide who gets to be the winner of all the money. Well, technically the person won't decide who takes the money. It will only trigger a function that will randomly choose one of the players, and it will send the money to this lucky winner. We will call this list of people players, and the account that owns the contract and triggers the payment we will call manager. We will see that the contract has a balance, so we don't need a special variable to hold the amount of money. Let's add the variables first to our contract. Typically, we write the variables as type, followed by scope, followed by variable name. For our list of players, we will need an array of addresses. We will make it public, and we will call it players. To keep track of the person that owns the contract, we will create a variable of type address, we will make it public, and we will call it manager. Finally, we don't need an extra variable to keep track of the money that people send to the contract, because the contract has an internal variable that is called balance that automatically keeps track of the money that the contract receives. For this very simple contract, we only need two functions. One function that people will use to send money to the contract, and another function that the manager will use to choose a winner and send the winner the money that is stored in the contract. The function sendMoney will first receive money from the person that sent it, and then it will add the sender to the list of players. The choseWinner function will first choose a winner from the list of players, and then it will send this winner the money that is stored in the smart contract. We need to make sendMoney function public so everybody can use it, and we also need to make it payable. That means that we need to make sure that people can send money using this function. We don't need to write any code to be able to receive money. The money that the people send will be automatically available in the value attribute of the message object. This object is created automatically by Solidity. Players is an array, so we can use traditional array functions like push, so that we can add the address of the person who sent the money to our list of players. To get the address of the person who sent the message, we can use the attribute sender of the MSG object. choose a winner function is also very simple. First, we need to choose a winner from the list of players. And second, we need to send the money that is in the contract to this person. So we will choose a random winner, and then we will send the balance of the smart contract to this player using the internal function transfer. The Solidity language doesn't have an internal random function, so we will have to write our own function. To write our random function, we will use a hashing algorithm called Ketchak. For now, we only need to know that Ketchak is a hashing algorithm, just like MD5 or SHA. I will not explain in detail what this function is doing, but basically, this function will return a random unsigned integer that is generated using information that is difficult to predict, like the block difficulty, the time of now, or the array of players that we have in our contract. We do this to make it more difficult for people to know how our code works and what random number will we get. Okay, it's time to clean up our code and fix all the errors that we find. First, we will need to fix the version of the Solidity compiler. As you can see, our code is written using 0.4.17. But in Remix, we have it configured to use the latest version, so make sure you change to version 0.4.17. I also forgot to add semicolons to some of the lines. In Solidity, you need to add a semicolon at the end of every line, just like in PHP. Next, I misspelled the word address, and I also forgot to add the scope to the function chooseWinner, which should be public. That means now anybody can run this code, but we don't want anybody to run this code to choose the winner. We want only the manager to be able to run the code. So we will include a new line of code that will require the sender to be the manager of the contract. We also need to fix the type of the winner variable. And now we have no syntactic errors, so we can try to compile and deploy our contract. Remix has different deployment options. You can, for example, use an internal virtual machine, or you can also deploy to test networks like Rinkeby network. When you deploy to an internal virtual machine, you will be able to use multiple accounts, each one loaded with 100 Ether for testing. Click the Deploy button to deploy your contract. Expand the list of options and you will see all the different controls and all the different features that we can have in our contract. Each button represents a function. You can see we have some buttons like Manager or Players. These buttons are get functions created automatically by Solidity for all the public variables that you declare in your code. When we click the Manager button, we see that we get an address that is all zeros. That is because I made a mistake. I forgot to change the value of the Manager variable. We can do that in our constructor. Solidity contracts can also have constructor functions. They're called just the same name as the name of the contract. In our constructor, we will take the address of the person who creates the contract and we will store it in the manager variable. Because we have changed the code, we have to delete the old contract, compile it again, and redeploy to the JavaScript virtual machine. Now, if we click the Manager button, you will see that now we have a real address. So this code is working correctly. You can see that the first account has lost a little bit of Ether. That is the cost of deploying a contract. It is not free to deploy a contract. Let's send some money from the other accounts. For example, from the first account, I will write 5 Ether and click the button Send Money. Now, if I go to the players array and I choose index 0, I will see that now I have the address of an account. So I have 1 player, and this person has lost 5 Ethereum. These 5 Ethereum are now stored in our contract. Let's send some money from another account. This time I will send 20 Ethereum. You can see that this account has now lost 20 Ethereum. And from the last account, I will send 25 Ethereum. Actually, I should not be saying 25 Ethereum. I should be saying 25 Ether. Ethereum is the name of the blockchain and Ether is the name of the token. Now that I have some money in the contract, let's see what happens if I try to choose a winner. Because I am using an account that is different to the manager, I will get an error. Only the first account can run this function choose winner. This error should happen if I click choose winner from any of the other accounts that are not the first account, the account that deployed the contract. Unfortunately, I made a mistake, and even from the first account, when you click choose winner, you will get an error. The error is that I forgot to adjust the random winner to the length of the players array. So we are getting an integer that is not part of the array, for example 10, when the array has only 3 accounts. Obviously that is an error. I also forgot to reset the players array, so every time we choose a winner, we should make sure that we delete all the previous players. Now the problem is, because I changed the code, I need to delete the old contract. That means all the money that the people sent to the contract will disappear, because I made a mistake. When you write code for the real Ethereum network, you need to be very careful because you are working with real money, and very easily you can lose all your money if you make a mistake. Now that we have compiled and deployed the fixed contract, let's send some money. From the first account, I will send 20 Ether. From the second account, I will send 30 Ether. And from the third account, I will send also 30 Ether. Now I will choose again the first account and I will click choose winner. You see that now we have a success icon, and you can see how the third account has 124 Ether. That means this person was the winner and he got all the money that the other people had sent to the smart contract. I hope watching this video has made you feel more interested in Ethereum, Solidity, and other blockchain technologies. Obviously, this is a very simple tutorial. I just wanted to show you a small example of what you can do with Solidity and Remix. Thanks for watching and have a great week.